All right, welcome in everybody to another deep dive. This time around, we're taking a look at Story of My Life, which is book one in the Story Lake series by Lucy Score. And it looks like we've got some great early buzz and a synopsis to help us break down this one.
Ooh, sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like a really classic rom-com with a little bit of that small-town charm. So let's jump right in. First off, tell me about Hazel Hart.
Yeah.
Who is this character we're going to be following?
Well, Hazel is a romance novelist. Actually, she's a really successful one, but she's hit a little bit of a snag in her writing career.
Oh no, what happened?
It looks like a recent breakup has left her with some serious writer's block. And to top it off, she's got a publisher who's breathing down her neck about deadlines. I think a lot of us can relate to that pressure. Maybe not from a publisher, but just, life in general.
Absolutely. And actually, that pressure is exactly what leads to Hazel's next big decision, right?
It seems so. What does she do?
She decides to make a really impulsive real estate purchase. Yeah. She ends up buying this historic house online. The catch is, it's pretty rundown, and it's located all the way in Story Lake, Pennsylvania, a far cry from, I'm assuming, her current life in Manhattan.
Wow, so she's trading in city life for a fixer-upper in a small town. Gotta say, it's a pretty drastic move.
Right. And get this. Her arrival in Story Lake is anything but low-key. She ends up having a pretty dramatic encounter with a bald eagle.
Hold on. A bald eagle. Okay, now I really need to hear more about this town.
Well, from what we're seeing in these early reviews, Story Lake is definitely charming. It's a classic small town, but it's facing some economic hardship. Apparently, their main employer shut down, which has really put a strain on the community.
That's tough. So Hazel's stepping into a town that's already dealing with a lot.
Yeah, and here's another twist. Buying this rundown house, which, by the way, she refers to as a spider museum, comes with an unexpected bonus, a seat on the town council. Our city slicker romance novelist is about to get a crash course in small-town politics.
That's a lot to handle on top of writer's block. So where does the, romance come into this story?
That's where Campbell Bishop enters the picture. He's a local contractor, and he's described as being 6'3" and a little bit on the, well, grouchy side.
Ooh, I love a good grumpy character.
Me too.
Yeah.
And he's the one who ends up sparking Hazel's creativity. Apparently, she sustained some minor injury shortly after arriving, and Cam, that's Campbell, tends to it, and somehow in the process becomes her muse. This dynamic, by the way, it's that classic grumpy meets sunshine trope, right? You got the seemingly stern character and then the more optimistic one. It's a really popular combination in romance novels.
Totally. Readers just eat that up. So the renovation project, I'm guessing that becomes the backdrop for their connection to develop.
You got it. And to make things even more interesting, Hazel decides she needs a fake date for research purposes with Cam. Of course, all in the name of her writing.
Right. Oh boy, I can already see where this is going. Sounds like those lines between her fictional romance and real life are about to get seriously blurry. And probably hilarious, knowing Lucy Score.
Exactly. And while all of that is going on, the town itself is dealing with some major issues. They're actually facing potential bankruptcy.
Wow, so it's not just romantic stakes. The entire town's future is on the line. That adds a whole other layer of tension.
Absolutely. So I'm seeing this story as more than just your typical will they, won't they romance. You've got humor, you've got a small town struggling to survive, and you've got this main character who's going through some major personal and professional growth, all thanks to this unexpected change of scenery.
It really speaks to something we've all probably experienced at some point in our lives, like how a new environment or even just meeting the right person at the right time can totally shake things up. Sometimes those shakeups are exactly what we need to find inspiration, whether it's creative inspiration like Hazel, or maybe even, finding a little romance. Who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's a great point to end on. So for everyone listening out there, consider those moments in your own life, those unexpected turns. Maybe there's a Story Lake moment waiting for you just around the corner. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.